Alright, last one. Whew. Just a couple more rings around this one course, and we should... Jeez, the loading times in this game are very long. But,
All right, here we go. 3,
just a little bit more to do here, and then we'll have unlocked everything in the game. I am still disappointed that you don't get to see more of the anchovy. So I actually really enjoyed that dude. Like, Patrick, I don't want to do this. Go away. Patrick, go away. Jeez.
oh, gee, water balls.
Something doesn't seem quite right.
I'll take it. It's faster just to keep going off the road and then get respawned. Oh. Curious how this mode works in multiplayer, to be perfectly honest. I guess anyone who doesn't finish on time is eliminated, and then out of those who do finish, it's just a matter of using those points. Not the most points there, but not that we need many more. We need 680 more.
I hope you're
I'm still use Mrs. Puff is wearing the ski mask. It's weird to me they decided to make her always wear a ski mask. It'd be one thing if it was like an unlockable outfit, but no, Puff is just always in a ski mask in this game. Not getting any multipliers here, unfortunately. Grinding is more useful for maintaining a combo than anything. It's not really that many points that gets you in most cases. How do you guys make me fun get stuck there?
to the television.
To the television. You're already in the television. Alright, man.
That's the way to do it.
It grabs. Now. And let's see what that last boat is. Does our whole boat have to cross the finish line? I was just curious what the precise cutoff was. Paddle streamer. Oh, do you actually not get to unlock the boatmobile? That's what I was kind of hoping for. I was hoping I get to play as Mary Man and Mark Point in the invisible boatmobile. That looked like the thing to do to me. Got everything. Videos, cutscenes mostly. Something looks a little odd about that picture. No, it's invisible boatmobile is not one of the unlockable boats. That's really weird. Mostly out too, you just never get to see the, I guess you just never get to see the anchovy again. Okay, well, I have a little bit of time to kill here, I guess. This is a pretty good course to race around, to be perfectly honest. Is that the 2 tugboats? The paddle steamer now. It doesn't even seem like it has especially special stats, to be perfectly honest. It's not like it's the heaviest boat in the game or anything. I think the heaviest is water taxi, maybe? Or actually, wakeboard seems to be the heaviest in the whole game. Huh. I don't know if I want to do racing or not. They like to play as Plankton and just destroy everyone. Actually, these are the hardiest. Well, yeah, I already played as a Big Tug earlier, though. Let's play as a Big Tug with some less ridiculous damage, though. Sure. Plankton on his quest to destroy everything. And at some point I'll just head into the credits and finish things up. This game lasted a decent while though. But I don't think it was really bad for it. I mean, there were times where I got a bit stuck on something for a while. The only time I really disliked what I was doing was, well, I didn't particularly love the collecting pieces levels, but I also... Oh, isn't that Motor Company sign also from Balcony Bottom? From the rooftops? But the only thing that really bugged me, other PlayStation, cool, was that one at impairment level in the sewer. This thing does not turn much, which I figured, but jeez. What? Yeah, so sometimes when you floor it up, sound effect plays is what happens. This one has a horn. You do have to be fast to use as many points as possible, which does disappoint me a little bit. Just tapped. It does disappoint me you don't get the invisible boatmobile either. I wish, it always bugs me when games have like playable things and you don't get to, or things that would make sense to be playable that you just don't get to ever do much with, or something there's no real reason from a gameplay perspective to not be able to use outside a certain situation, but you never get to use it outside that situation. So in this game, there's no reason for the anchovies not to be playable or just show up in the game from time to time or whatever after you've unlocked the characters, but they just don't.
Why am I doing this?
Because it's fun.
There's no stopping.
This is what happens when Plankton's version of the fun song is realized. And everyone knows N is for no survivors. Like that. I have to destroy you too? I don't usually have to destroy all of them. I don't really get it. Sometimes you do have to destroy all of them, sometimes you don't. I'm not sure how this works. 5 waves, on the other hand, is quite a lot. You actually do more in this version of the game than in the Learn to Drive version. Yeah, so, and that's the sort of thing where if I was so bold as to like try to mod this game, my first goals would probably be getting to play as the anchovy and getting to use them as a boat wheel. Because there are both things that I liked that for some reason you just don't get to have in the game. See, exactly, Plankton got the right idea. Invisible boatmobile specifically, of course.
You will all tremble before me. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
You knocked my toes off! I don't have toes.
I like how long some of these dialogue bits are, too. You don't usually hear dialogue that's that long in games like this, but them being willing to have some longer dialogue actually makes it pretty funny in some cases. Like what Patrick just did. And again, there's so much of it. Like, I keep hearing things that I've never even heard before. Patrick, you knocked my toes off. That was great. Bozo yourself. Yeah, so that's the end of Plankton's last stand, I think. Not a bad performance. Good job, Plankton. I'm still laughing at that you knocked my toes off thing. I admit, that's probably the most one of these games has made me laugh, like, ever. Why is that so funny to me? I don't know. Part of it is, it's the good voice actors. Like, that's one of the great things about these licensed games. You have the original voice actors who are actually good at what they do. Even if the rest of the game is cheaply made, or the assets are taken from wherever else, the voice acting is always good. And that makes a world of difference. Well, actually, I had forgotten about this, but wasn't there a driver setup? So this is a group play. Each unlockable character has their own stats and well, you can clear them for each individual character. So in group play, you can do that, apparently. What precisely is group play? I wish I could know. I don't have the game's manual or anything to look and check. Is it not just... Well, I figure it's just people... It's like people playing against each other. You just play against other players. So I think it would be the same as quick play, but multiple players. Split screen, probably. As I guess. That's what I assumed. Curious what the codes are. Actually, if you don't mind, give me just a second. Curious if this game has any codes that unlock things other than the usual unlockable stuff. This game was only made like 10 years ago. It's actually surprising that there's even a cheat code menu to begin with, because cheat codes are a pretty extinct thing these days. I'm not really sure how these started. Well, initially they started as just a little secret, or there won't even be a code entry menu or anything, I think. But then eventually somehow they got encoded into... Oh. Somehow they eventually got encoded into the medium enough that there would be cheat menus and whatnot. And then they stopped being a thing. Probably partly because of things being more and more online. Boom Blox Bash Party. Not the game I was searching for, but wonderful. Nice to be reminded of that game. Okay. Unlock all characters, unlock all drive courses, unlock all events, game options, levels, vehicles. Nope. Nothing I see that one could unlock in any particularly weird way. You're not going to be able to see me do this, but... Where's the game? What if we open up the game's files? I can look at the file system. Movies, audio, vehicles. Ah, it's in... Well, if anyone figures out how to modify the .pack files for this game, someone could probably figure out how to swap around the vehicles or something. But anyways, trying to mod Spongebob games. Ah, of course, just like the, I can change the speed. Wow, I have never seen a game with this. I'm gonna go with the default speed, 1 second. There we go. I've never seen a game with a speed option that you can move up and down, like, really finely. And in a game like this, also, weird choice of font. That is absolutely not the font one usually uses for credits in Spongebob. But I appreciate that it's true to the show, I guess. But again, this is probably reusing key art from the show. Well, not key art, you want to call it, but the actual background from the show, if I had to guess. But that's the thing. This is a really weird game where it's... like I was saying, I wonder how much this is even made originally for this game. They reuse so much stuff, and even though the things that are, so to speak, original, like a lot of the dialogue is just taken from the show. And just basically re-recorded. It's a strange thing, and yet somehow it works. I think I was saying earlier that I think the reason it works to me, it doesn't just like offend me that it seems kind of lazy and whatnot, is that it's all put towards something totally different. It would be one thing, it doesn't say who did what voice. It would be one thing if they try to make another platformer using music from another SpongeBob platforming game, and with models from another SpongeBob platforming game and whatnot. That would seem lazy, kind of like, for instance, Truth or Square did. In this case, they took those things and made something totally different, which is kind of cool. And I like that. Jeez, that's all the credits. I thought I'd have more time to talk. And I'm curious what this game would have been like if they couldn't reuse stuff, because honestly it came across as pretty nice to me. Apparently it has a bad reputation, but I'm not sure what for. I thought it was fine. It was pleasant enough to play. The gameplay was decent enough. And I think they saved a lot of time on everything else, like the backdrops for all the levels, and the models for the characters and stuff like that, by reusing stuff from elsewhere. Apparently it sounds like some of the music here was actually from Creature from the Krusty Krab too, or something like that. I didn't recognize any of the music because I don't remember the music from those games very well. But I'm curious how much that allowed them to actually focus on refining the core gameplay, which to me seemed good enough. I still would have liked to use the Missile Boat reveal in free play, because why wouldn't you want to unlock that? I love that they had it as an idea in this game, even though I wish it was actually invisible instead of translucent. I do like that it becomes visible as it's damaged. Of course, it would probably be difficult to actually drive around in a fully invisible car because you don't know what your collisions are, because each car in this game has a different size and whatnot, but whatever. Just a thought. Was that a loop? I think I just noticed the music loop, like, really badly. But I love that they had that as an idea. I like they have all the different areas in the game. There's a lot of dialogue, and decently written dialogue too. Some of it, well, doesn't make sense at all. And a lot of it is kind of needless reference to the show that weirded me out, but some of it's really good. Like, you knocked off my toes. That was amazing. I like the variety in the boats, and you get a choice of the boats, and they actually have, like, different classes and stats that actually matter, and things like that. And even the generic NPCs, the anchovies who I wish were playable, I like them too. I enjoyed them. They had... That's the thing, I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Generic NPCs that are stand-in for, like, playable characters that actually have character and personality and good dialogue. I've never seen that before. This game's actually kind of unique in that. Which is why the anchovy is so enjoyable that I actually disappointed I couldn't play as it. Strange thing, but I like this. Sometimes I'll be happy with a licensed game when I start it, and I'll be kind of sour on it by the end, like I was with, say, Yellow Adventure. But this one, I enjoyed this through and through. This is actually one of the better SpongeBob games I've played by a good margin. I think this is pretty far up there. You know, it's a totally different thing. I don't have many vehicular combat games to compare this with, although I think this is more close to my preferred flavor of this genre, as opposed to something like Twisted Metal, personally. So maybe that's part of it too. It's just a type of game I like, maybe? Well, game that I apparently like but never play, so I don't like it that much, I guess. But I like this game's interpretation of it. It had a decent enough story, I guess. The final boss was a little awkward, but it all worked out. So, a pleasant experience all around, and now I figure out what to do next. I don't know yet. We'll see. I can only hope it'll be half as fun as this one was, though. Bye, everyone! Oh, my cursor needs to move all the way over to where that stop recording button is. Hold on. There we go. Alright, now we got to unlock everything in the game, too. I love getting to do everything there is to do. Bye, everyone!